For the overview, and 15 is not that long. For the overview, it says the preview and introduction to 7 last plagues. Again, how many? 7 last plagues. Okay. You will see the groups in heaven. And what are they? The Crystal Sea Company. Anytime, stay with me, stay with me. Anytime you see Crystal Sea Company, the church and the Old Testament saints is what it is being referred to. Okay? This is not the sea that you see as sea. No, Crystal Sea is always people. But again, referring to the church and the Old Testament saints. And that's more than clear. Now, Israeli company as well, for the great multitude and the 144,000. Now, for the letter C, you could see right there, heaven's temple was mentioned. Let's go to verse 1. 7 angels prepared to administer the 7 last plagues, which contain the summation of God's wrath. God sees countless multitude of people around God's throne. The great Crystal Sea, which is the church, supports the saints who, victorious over the Antichrist, have come out of the tribulation. Okay? So this is referring also to people who made it. They went through tribulation and succeeded. And they are believers. Let's move to number 3. The Tribulation Company sings a song of Moses and the Lamb. Look at me. Moses and the Lamb. Anytime you see Moses there, it's referring to the Old Testament. But they were joined by, when you see the Lamb, that's referring to Jesus Christ, the Christians. Is that clear? This is not the unique song of the redeemed, which only the church company and the 144,000 sing, meaning to say all the believers gathered together will be singing it. Yeah? Sometimes I feel like asking Jesus, can you give me some of the notes? But that's going to be less exciting for me when I already know it in advance. Okay, let's go to verse 4. Only God is holy. Shall we say it together? Only God is holy. All nations will eventually recognize this supremacy as he administers his judgments. In verse 5, in order for the 7 last plagues to be released, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven must be open. What is it again that's going to be open before anything else? The 7 last plagues is... Okay, it's called the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven. Let's go to verse 6. The 7 judgmental angels, this is funny, emerge from this temple. Here we go. One of the 4 great angels distributes to the 7 angels 7 golden vials. Okay? And each vial contains a particular plague of God's wrath. So, guys, look at me from here on. The wrath of God will be seen on this planet. So nothing nice. Nothing. Satan tried to display whatever wrath he has or false powers he had. This time, it's God's turn. But it's called the wrath of God. And why would God be angry? Look at your neighbor right now. Why would God be angry? Ask your neighbor. Ask yourself, why would God be angry? Look at me. And I found out. You know what will irritate God? What will make God, like, I don't want to overexpress myself. I'm too emphatic when I am feeling things inside of me. Because of one thing, God would like, remember he was the one who said, vengeance is not yours. He said, vengeance is mine. For all the things that they gave, the hardships they gave, persecutions and killings or murders of all the Christians or believers, this is God's answer to it. The whole kingdom of the enemy will experience this. So referring strictly once more to the heathens, not the believers. Let's move on, because they're the only ones that will suffer the wrath of God. Where was I? Verse 7? 8? Okay. A great smoke. Say it with me. Great smoke. Symbolic of what? God's glory. Prevents all men from entering the temple until the 7 plagues are fulfilled. You know, I look at this and I say to myself, is that still the kindness of God? He didn't, if he could spare us or keep us away from the vengeance, witnessing the vengeance of God, he would do his level best. But here we are. The Lord is saying it to us clearly. He's not going to hold it back. He will surely deliver it.